Hi, I'm Micah Priest. I'm a special education teacher in Las Vegas, Nevada, and today I'm going to tell you the story about the time my friend and I drove like 1,000 miles to mail a letter. So it happened quite a while ago, and the details are a little foggy on the dates and the times, but the story is the same. It was back in like 2004, maybe 2005, and Marlboro Cigarettes was holding a contest, like a scavenger hunt. And you had to have a team of like four people, and you had a book with pictures and riddles and things like that. And you were supposed to go explore the West and find these locations or these pictures or these clues. And if you got the most, you won a prize. So my best friend and I found this, and we were like, oh my God, this is the greatest contest ever. We know people that are smart with this area, and we're going to have a great team, and we're going to win. So as we looked at the entry date, it was like 2 days away, and it was a Saturday. So we had to get all the documents. We had to copy people's driver's licenses and get all of these the teammates on our roster, and we had to make copies of our driver's licenses. And by the time we got everything ready, it was Sunday, and we had to have the letter to a town in Nebraska by the next day at like 2 p.m. And we were in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I don't think we knew about next day mail, and even if it was a thing, it was Sunday, so we couldn't get it there. So we had the bright idea to just deliver it ourselves. So we researched where this post office was and found the directions, and I want to say it was like 520 miles there and then 520 back. And I can't remember what time of day we left at. I want to say it was like early in the morning because we got on the road. I don't remember, it was dark, and we had to be there by 2. So I think it was supposed to be like a 9 to 10 hour drive. So I think we left pretty early in the morning. So yeah, we just loaded up the car and we hopped on the highway and started driving through driving to Blair, Nebraska. And if you've ever driven through eastern Colorado into Nebraska, you know that it's not an exciting trip. So it's very boring and very long. But when we were on our way, we had seen signs for the Kool-Aid Museum. And it was a little ways off the highway. And we're like, oh my God, the Kool-Aid Museum, the thing's the best thing ever. Oh, we got to go do this. So we made it a goal that on our way back, we were going to check out this Kool-Aid Museum. So we drive all day, and we get to the post office it was probably like noon, maybe 1 o'clock, and had to be there. We made it with like an hour or maybe 2 hours to spare. So we literally walked into the post office holding this letter and went to the clerk, and we were like, we need to have this letter postmarked in this post office by today. Can you do that? And the guy kind of looked at us funny, and there was another clerk that was kind of like, really? So we kind of explained to them, we needed this entry fee into the post office box there that day. So they humored us, and they postmarked it and got it in there, and we left feeling really good about ourselves. We had done it. I know we went and celebrated. We got lunch somewhere, and since I think I had to work the next day, myself or my best friend had to work the next day, so we had to just get back on the road and start coming back. So we ate lunch, we started coming back, and we were like, you know what, we can go and stop at this Kool-Aid Museum. Gotta go see it. And so as we get closer, I think we realized that the sign said Kool-Aid exhibit in a museum. So it didn't sound as awesome as at that point, but it's still, we were like, oh, we gotta go see the Kool-Aid exhibit. So we drive, and I think it was an hour out of our way. So we drove an hour like south, and we get to a town. I'm gonna say it was called Hastings, Nebraska, and we find this museum, and it's closed. So we drove all the way out of our way, and the museum's closed. So we did not get to see the Kool-Aid Museum. Very disappointed. So we hung out there, and I think we figured out the best route home and jumped in the car, drove back to Colorado, and, we made it. It was a successful trip. So a couple weeks passed, maybe like a month, and we get a letter from the Marlboro Cigarette Company. And it said that our entry criteria or whatever, one of the driver's license we didn't copy properly, so we'd been disqualified from the contest. So we did all of that work. We drove an entire day, 1,000 miles to mail this letter just to get disqualified. So it was a fun, very spontaneous trip, and I think it kind of led to my love of doing very spontaneous or wacky, weird things, because it makes for a somewhat entertaining story to tell. But years later, my best friend was, I don't know, doing something, and she got like a travel guide for Nebraska. And I'm going to see if you can see this. In the travel guide, you can see that it's the Hastings Museum, the Kool-Aid Man exhibit. So it was like a real thing. She put, "Hey, kids, I'm a liar." Because for a while there, we thought maybe it never actually existed. So it is there. I don't know if it's still there to this day. But one of these days, I will have to return to Nebraska to try to see the Kool-Aid exhibit. So that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Go out and mail a letter.